All right, it's your boy Kijana back with more fight predictions this week. Dos Anjos versus Edwards should be a pretty banging card. A lot of close fights on this card though, so it's gonna be kind of hard for me to pick certain people, but I'm gonna just roll with my instincts again. I placed in 9th place on DraftKings this last week, and then the week before I was in the top 50. So I'd actually say the last few months I've been placing pretty high, and I've been on point about some of my picks. On my last video, I changed up some of my picks for the Uriah Faber and Ricky Simone. I actually rolled with Uriah Faber. Something was telling me that he was going to get the job done within the first or second round, so I ended up picking Uriah Faber, and it worked out for me. So the only pick that I fucked up on last week was that Mike guy. Mike Rodriguez. He really fucked me over, dude, because if he would have got a win, I would have gotten first place and won the big bucks, but it didn't happen. So all right, going into the prelims, bantamweight bout, Domingo Pilarte versus Felipe Colares. I'm rolling with Domingo, man. Felipe is a really big underdog that he's making his debut as well, but I'm gonna roll with Domingo. He's pretty big for that weight class. We've seen that with Vince Morales. He submitted Vince Morales in the second round on the Contender Series. And it was a really good fight. It was a close fight. He was piecing Vince Morales up, and then Vince Morales caught him with the overhand right and fucked his eye up. I don't know if he had like an orbital fracture or what it was, but he covered up real quickly and kind of just got in a cocoon and didn't really know what to do. He was just kind of survival. He was in survival mode. That's what I would call it, because yeah, he's lucky that the round was ending, because I think Vince Morales probably would have beat him. He was in a lot of pain, I could tell. But the second round, he came back and fucking submitted him, man. Rear naked choke, and they were rolling like 5 or 6 times on the ground before. And Vince Morales is a tough motherfucker, man. He didn't tap. Most people would have tapped. He went straight to sleep. But yeah, I'm rolling with Domingo on this one. I feel like he'll get the job done. I don't really know much about Felipe Colares. I should have did a little bit more research on him, but it is what it is. So yeah, if you guys want to do some research, and if you have any opinions on that fight, let me know. Drop them in the comments. I'd appreciate it. I always like to hear what people have to say about fighters. So yeah, next fight, bantamweight bout, Mario Batista versus Jinsu Sun. This I'm going back and forth on. I feel like Mario Batista could get a submission victory over Jinsu Sun, because he does have good wrestling and good submissions. But Jinsu Sun is tough, man. This kid is tough, dude. Like, he's really tough. Like, that's all I can really say about him, because he fought Peter Yan on I think it was his debut fight, and he was like, yeah, he got rocked a few times, but he was rocking Peter Yan too. They were both trading blows and going back and forth, and yeah, man, that was like, and it was they went to decision. Peter Yan he finishes people, man. Peter Yan's a tough motherfucker. So for Jin to really go the distance with him, especially on a debut fight, like that says a lot. And Jin was just like pressuring the whole fight. They were both pressuring each other, but like he was just eating shots, and like, yeah, he was eating shots left and right, and he wasn't going out. So it's gonna be an interesting fight. I think Mario Batista is gonna try to really work his game plan and get him on the ground and submit him. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how that plays out. I'm rolling with Jinsu Sun. Mario Batista is a great underdog pick, though. If you're gonna pick an underdog, that would be one that I would pick if I was picking an underdog. So shit, I might make a few lineups and switch those two guys out. You never know. But Mario Batista, he had a horrible showcase against Corey Sandhagen on his debut, but Corey Sandhagen, we all seen what he can do to people in his last performance with John Lineker and shit. So it really could be like this fight could go either way. Just go with your instinct. I'm rolling with Jinsu Sun though. Another bantamweight bout, 3 in a row. I don't know why there's so many bantamweight fights on this. This is like the little people fights right now. So Ray Borg versus Gabriel Silva. I hear a lot of people saying Ray Borg's done. He's not. He doesn't have it in him anymore. I don't agree with that. I feel like this is going to be a really good showcase for Ray Borg. In my own opinion, I feel like he's going to have a really good showcase. He has to have a good showcase. His job's on the line, man. his job is literally on the line. Like, he's been dealing with a lot of shit with his family, with the kid issues and stuff. And I feel like that's only going to motivate him to really, like, because people are counting him out already. They're already counting him out. So it's like, and there's no reason to be counting him out just because he had some family issues and shit. Like, that guy's a really good wrestler. He's really good with his submission game. His striking's pretty decent as well. He's not a bad fighter. So I'm not really sure why people are saying that he's done, like his career's over and shit like that. I'm hearing a lot of people saying that. Maybe his head might have not all been there. His head didn't seem like it was all there in his last performance, his last fight. But I mean, shit, he had a layoff for a while, man. He was dealing with a lot of shit. He had to deal with the bus incident with Conor McGregor bullshit, getting glass in his eye. Like, I mean, dude, the kid issue, the kid shit, his kid's dealing with like some kind of sickness or something. Like, I mean, that's a lot of stuff for anyone to have on their plate. And for people to just like doubt him like that quickly, it's kind of fucked up. But I mean, it's everyone's opinion. I feel like Ray Borg is gonna get the job done. Probably a decision victory, maybe even a submission victory, but it's gonna be a dominant performance, I feel like. A lot of people are saying Gabriel Silva's good, really good, and he's gonna piece up Ray Borg and shit. I don't agree with that. I don't know much about Gabriel Silva. Watched a few highlights. Wasn't really that impressed, you know? It was some basic shit. Wasn't anything crazy. So yeah, I'm rolling with Ray Borg. Next fight, women's flyweight bout, Roxanne Modafferi versus Jennifer Maia. Oh man, these two chicks already have fought, and Maia won by a decision. So I think this time around, Roxanne's gonna beat her. I feel like Roxanne has better grappling. She's been in the game for longer. She's a veteran, honestly. Yeah, she's a veteran in the game. She's probably going to get a decision win or a submission victory. Thank you, baby. But yeah, I'm going to roll with Roxanne Modafferi. Jennifer Maia does have really good stand-up, though. And she's a pressure fighter. She's going to try and the only way that she can beat Roxanne Modafferi is if she pressures Roxanne. But if she doesn't pressure her, then she's probably going to lose. Roxanne Modafferi is probably going to get her on the ground and submit her within this first or second round. That's my guess. Her grappling and her wrestling and submission game and shit is just way better than Maia's, in my own opinion. But I mean, this is another fight like that could go either way. Roxanne is the underdog. She's a good underdog pick. I'm rolling with her. Next fight, light heavyweight bout, Sam Alvey versus Klidson Abreu. I'm not really going to talk much about this fight. I'm rolling with Klidson Abreu. I feel like Klidson is going to probably get a submission victory over Sam. Sam Alvey doesn't have any ground game. He just doesn't. He doesn't have any ground game. It doesn't really seem like he's really improved on any of his shit in the UFC. He's basically the same fighter that he was when he first joined the UFC. There's not really much new. His stand-up's all right. He's a low volume striker, but if he hits you with a big haymaker, then you're gonna probably go to sleep. But I just can't put my faith in Sam Alvey anymore. I mean, I like the guy. He's a decent fighter. He's not really, I never really thought he was UFC caliber level. But shit, he's made it that far, so I gotta give the guy props. I can't hate on him. But I'm gonna roll with Klidson Abreu, second round stoppage, or yeah, just second round stoppage. I mean, submission or fucking TKO. I just don't see Sam Alvey winning this fight. Next fight, women's bantamweight bout, Raquel Pennington versus Irene Aldana. I keep going back and forth on this fight. Raquel Pennington, man, like, she's a fucking beast. She can eat punches. She's tough. We all know that from the Amanda Nunes fucking fight. Like, she got fucked up. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with Irene Aldana. I think Irene can get it done. I think she could get it done standing, or she could get it done on the ground. Raquel Pennington, I just feel like, I'm not gonna say she's done or out of it, but I feel like Raquel is, those last two fights that she's had, like, that took a lot out of her. But that just means that maybe she could come back even tougher in this fight. Maybe that, like, gave her a little bit more character, a little bit more drive to, like, get this victory, you know? So, yeah, I mean, this could go either way, too. Raquel's the underdog. I'm rolling with Irene Aldana, though, to get a decision victory on this one. Alex Caceres versus Steven Peterson. Bruce Leroy. Man, dude, this guy is 14-12 overall. 80% of his fights are in the UFC. He's been around for a while. I've never really been a fan of his style of fighting. He never really progressed with grappling or his jiu-jitsu. I mean, maybe he has, and I just don't know it, like, because he doesn't ever showcase any of that shit in his fights. He always does the same spinning kicks and fucking that Bruce Lee type shit. But it's just, I don't feel like he should be in the UFC anymore, honestly. I like him. He's like a decent fighter, but I just don't feel like he's really UFC caliber level either. But I mean, neither really is Steven Peterson. Really isn't UFC caliber level either. He just got off a loss to Luis Pena. I picked him versus Luis Pena because Luis Pena is not as good as people think he is. He's all right, but Steven Peterson could have definitely beat Luis Pena if he would have had maybe a better game plan, and just out-wrestled him and outworked him. But Steven Peterson is a pressure fighter. I feel like he'll get Alex Caceres to the ground and he'll pressure him and then try to use ground and pound and probably get a decision victory. I don't feel like that's going to be really an exciting fight. So, yeah, I'm picking Steven Peterson as an underdog. All right, we're rolling into the main card. Andre, the Pitbull Arlovsky versus Ben Rothwell. I don't even know why they're having this fight. These guys have already fought before. Andre Arlovsky beat him. Nobody really wants to watch Andre Arlovsky fight anymore. I've been a fan of him for a long time, but no one really wants to watch him fight anymore. Ben Rothwell, no one wants to watch this guy fight anymore either. These guys are old, man. No one wants to watch him. Like, plain and simple. Like, there's nothing fun to watch about this fight. Even if it's a knockout, it's still not fun to watch because it's boring. They're both low-volume strikers, like at this point in their career, and it's just boring. No one wants to watch this shit. So, I mean, I'm gonna pick Andre Arlovsky to get a win again over Ben because Ben is just, I don't know, his performance versus Blagoy, I thought he won against Ivanov, but yeah, he lost by decision. I picked Ben to beat Blagoy, and he let me down, so I'm not going to pick him against Andre, and I'm more of a fan of Andre than I am Ben Rothwell, so I'm going to roll with Andre on this one. I feel like he has a crisper striking as well, but he just doesn't have any chin, so hopefully he doesn't get caught with a big one by Ben. Or he doesn't get taken down, ground and pounded, or submitted, because that could definitely happen. Ben Rothwell has better ground game than Andre Arlovsky. Next fight, lightweight bout, Alexander Hernandez versus Francisco Trinaldo. Francisco Trinaldo's old, man. But shit, I said the same thing about Donald Cerrone. Like, that was the first time I didn't pick Donald Cerrone. I usually always pick Donald Cerrone against other fighters. Doesn't matter who the fighter is. The only time that I didn't pick him was against Tony Ferguson and against this fucking kid, Alexander Hernandez, which I thought Alexander Hernandez was going to fuck him up in the first round. I thought he was basically going to do the same thing that Darren Till did to Cowboy. I thought he was going to work the body and get him out of there within the first round. But he didn't do that. He gassed himself out within four minutes of the first, and then he got fucked up by Cerrone. So it's like, Trinaldo could gas this guy out. He could wear this kid down, man. Hopefully he learned a lesson from the last fight. But I'm gonna roll with Alexander Hernandez. He's the younger fighter. He's got a lot in his arsenal that could get Trinaldo out of there early. But Trinaldo's tough. This is another pick'em fight. It could go either way. Trinaldo wouldn't be a bad underdog pick. But I'm gonna roll with Alexander Hernandez. TKO stoppage, first or second round. My girlfriend doesn't agree with me on that one. She thinks Alexander Hernandez isn't as good as people think he is. So she's probably gonna pick Trinaldo against me, but we'll see. Next fight, lightweight bout, James Vick versus Dan Hooker. I'm not rolling with James Vick at all. So yeah, I'm not gonna spend much time on this one. Dan Hooker's gonna get a TKO stoppage or a KO within the first or second round. James Vick has more height, but that doesn't mean anything, dude. Every fighter that he's fought, he's taller than. And, like, we've seen what Justin Gaethje did to him. We've seen what happens. He leaves his chin up there and he gets caught with a big overhand, and it's done. He gets a three-piece and a soda. He don't even get a three-piece, he gets a one-piece because his chin ain't that good. It only takes one shot to really knock James Vick out. James Vick is a counter striker. He plays with the range, but if you can pressure him and he can't keep you off of you, it's over for him. Like, that's plain and simple. Like, if you can pressure him like Justin Gaethje did, then which Dan Hooker is going to probably pressure him, and he's going to fucking get him out of there early, I feel like. So yeah, I'm rolling with him. The Hangman. Heavyweight bout, Greg Hardy versus Juan Adams. My first instinct was to pick Juan Adams because he has wrestling in his back pocket. But Greg Hardy is precise with his striking. And, man, he could definitely knock out Juan Adams within the first round if he's smart about it. And doesn't get too emotional in his fight like he did against Alan Crowder. I feel like Juan Adams might get in his head, out-wrestle him, and beat him up down there. And Greg Hardy just does not have any cardio. Hopefully he's been working on that. He has football-type cardio. He don't have MMA-type cardio. It's two different types. But, yeah. So, I think, fuck, man. I'm gonna roll with Juan Adams on this one. I'm gonna roll with Juan Adams. Yeah, he's gonna get it done. I feel like Greg Hardy's gonna gas himself out with the first round. If he doesn't knock Juan Adams out in the first round, he's gonna lose this fight. All right, next fight. Heavyweight bout: Aleksei Oleinik versus Walt Harris. Big ticket. I'm rolling with the big ticket. I'm rolling with Walt Harris. There's nothing really else to say about that other than Aleksei Oleinik has a great submission game. Walt Harris got submitted by Fabricio Werdum, but he wasn't training for Fabricio, so that doesn't really mean that he doesn't have ground game or submission defense. That just means he wasn't training for that type of fighter. Walt Harris could definitely knock Aleksei out within the first round. If Aleksei got knocked out by Alistair Overeem and Curtis Blaydes, then Walt Harris can definitely knock him out. Those are all different type style fighters, but Walt Harris hits hard. Aleskei's old, and he's gonna get knocked out within the first round. That's my prediction. Next fight, main event, welterweight bout: Rafael Dos Santos versus Leon Edwards. I'm not a fan of Leon Edwards at all. I don't like how he talks. I don't like his fighting style. I just don't like him as a person, plain and simple. But shit, dude, he could definitely beat Dos Santos. He could definitely beat Dos Santos. Taller fighter, rangy, hits hard, counter striker. Has good wrestling. He's well-rounded really everywhere. Dos Santos is well-rounded everywhere. This is another pick'em fight. It could go either way. But my gut instinct is telling me to pick Leon Edwards. The only thing that I'm worried about is Leon might gas out. Yeah, Leon Edwards might gas out. That's like the main thing I'm worried about. I don't think that he has 5-round gas. He doesn't really have a 5-round gas tank. Other than like his fight versus Cerrone, like, yeah, he had a good gas tank for that fight, but it's just like Dos Santos could really like piece this dude up and like outwork him. So fuck, man. Who do you think's gonna win that? Because I keep going back and forth on the main event. Like Leon Edwards or Dos Santos, who do you think? You think Dos Santos is gonna beat him? Okay. I'm gonna roll with what my girl's saying. I'm gonna roll with Dos Santos on this one. Leon Edwards it's hard for me to pick that guy anyway, just because I don't like him. I just don't like him. And then it's not even about the Jorge Masvidal situation of him, like, and that whole little beef or whatever. I never liked Leon Edwards. He has like just a shitty personality, and I don't like his lisp when he talks and shit. So it is what it is. I mean, I kind of hope Dos Santos just knocks his ass out. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Dos Santos on that one. Don't take my advice on that, because Leon Edwards definitely could win, but I just don't want him to win. Yeah, those are my fight predictions. I'm going fishing right now with my girl, so yeah, everybody enjoy the weekend. Hopefully you guys all make some fucking serious cash. And yeah, all right, subscribe.